What's up, guys? This is Corey and welcome to CNA Films and Animation. Today is Friday, and welcome to this week's episode of Now on DVD Friday. Today's review is of the 2012 Seth MacFarlane comedy, Ted. Ted is about a little boy who, for Christmas, gets a teddy bear, which he names Ted, and he wishes that Ted would become real. So, due to Christmas magic, or shooting star, or something, it's never really fully explained, Ted comes to life, and he and the little boy promise to become friends for life. Though everyone who sees Ted immediately panics because they really don't know what to make of him. He's a living teddy bear, basically. So, of course, the boy's parents freak out, and it becomes a overnight sensation, pretty much. He appears on the Johnny Carson show, and he appears in news articles all over the world. And as the boy grows, so does Ted. Both of them grow up, and this is done by changing of the voice and everything. And 25 years later, the boy becomes Mark Wahlberg, and both him and Ted are still best friends. They smoke pot together, they drink, they do wild and crazy things, and all the while, Mark Wahlberg has a girlfriend, played by Mila Kunis, and she wants Ted to move out of the apartment so that way she and Mark Wahlberg can build their relationship together. So how was Ted? Ted is a often funny movie, but due to Seth MacFarlane's writing style, it tends to kind of fall flat, and therefore, after a bit, the film starts to become a little tedious to watch. Let me start with the script. Seth MacFarlane wrote the script for this film, and overall, I would say it's an okay script. I mean, the overall plot is interesting. A teddy bear coming to life, and they become friends and everything. That in itself is just pretty funny, but many of the jokes in this film tend to fall flat. I mean, some are just really funny, but other times it's just kind of forced, it seems like. And the style of the writing in this film is very Family Guy-ish. And what I mean by that is that a lot of the humor comes from like random scenes that just come out of nowhere in the middle of like conversations. And there are a lot of pop culture references in this film. So much so, in fact, that if you don't know a lot about pop culture, like me, who I don't follow pop culture very often, it pretty much kind of alienates the audience a little bit, and therefore, a lot of these jokes that he keeps throwing out there just went over my head, and I just didn't think they were that funny just because I didn't get the joke. I'm sure there's some people out there who know all about pop culture and just absolutely died laughing, but that just wasn't me. It just went over my head, and therefore I just couldn't find the true humor in most of the jokes in this film. Both Mila Kunis and Mark Wahlberg helped drive this film. They are both funny, they both have great chemistry together, and they are the most real characters in this film. Throughout the film, I did notice that there were several cameo appearances from actors and actresses, some who appear in Family Guy. For example, Mark Wahlberg's mom is played by Alex Borstein, who does the voice of Lois. Patrick Warburton, who plays Mark Wahlberg's co-worker, who thinks he may be gay, plays Joe Swanson in Family Guy. And of course, Mila Kunis is the voice of Meg in Family Guy. And a lot of these guest appearances are pretty funny. I mean, they really do work. And there probably were a lot of others, but those were like the big three that I noticed. And so, also there was a couple of other cameos. I think it was Tom Selleck. I think that was who it was. He had a pretty funny line near the end of the film. Ryan Reynolds has a pretty funny cameo as well. And so a lot of the cameos did work in the film, but overall it just kind of fell flat. Joel McHale has a small role in the film as the boss of Mila Kunis, who wants to sleep with her, pretty much. He's kind of a weird guy, but I don't know. I felt like his character should have been funnier. A lot of the jokes with his character just were more weird than anything. And that's probably what they were going for, but you know, for a comedy, I was kind of hoping a little bit more. And about in the second half of this film, the film just goes in a weird direction, one that kind of threw me off a little bit and really was kind of unnecessary to a point. I mean, I'm not going to give it away. I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen this movie, but it's just it's a little predictable, but at the same time, it wasn't funny. It was just more creepy and weird than anything else. And those who know what I'm talking about, I mean, it just was kind of a put off by me. And so therefore it just wasn't that funny. And I would say that the second half of this film was not as strong as the first half. There weren't as many funny jokes in the second one as there were in the first. Anyway, I'd say that Ted is an interesting film. The overall plot is funny enough, but due to the writing itself, it does fall flat in many places, and therefore it just was, after a bit, it started to become a little boring. But overall, I think I will give Ted a 7.2 out of 10. It's still a good time, but it's not the greatest experience. It was not the best comedy that I saw of last year. So tell me guys, have you seen Ted? If you have, what'd you think of it? Did you like it? What was your favorite moment? Who are your favorite characters? If you haven't seen it, do you want to see it? Are you a fan of Mila Kunis, Mark Wahlberg, or Seth MacFarlane? Comment below and let me know. If you like this review, be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. I'm Corey, and I'll see you guys in the next one.